Welcome back everyone to A Gentleman's Life. Sam here, still a gray, dreary day here in Germany. Filming second video of the day. This one is going to be a viewer email. I got an email from Nelson talking about one of his watches, and well, here, I'll go through the email a little bit first. So Nelson emailed me and said he'd been enjoying the videos and basically sent me a video saying he had been buying and selling watches for quite a while. About 4 or 5 years now, and decide to sell everything and go to one watch. Basically find the perfect everyday watch that best fits his tastes. So his choice was the Tissot Le Loc automatic. So I'm going to put a couple of pictures he sent in now. And then I'll talk a little bit about some other things he brought up in the email. So that is the watch that Nelson has gone to as his one watch. And after talking about that, he brought up that he kind of came up with his own set of essentially 5 rules for buying the perfect watch if you're only going to have one watch, which I thought was interesting. Something I haven't really thought about. I mean, I have now that he emailed me, but before I hadn't thought about it. So his rules are number 1, the watch must have sapphire. Number 2, it has to be an automatic movement. Number 3, the brand of the watch must be one that is respected by many watch enthusiasts and historically known for timepieces. So essentially no fashion brands. No Gucci watches or Guess or anything like that. The watch should be versatile. Essentially can be worn either as a dress watch or an everyday casual watch. And lastly, you have to love the look of the watch. So basically for it to sing to you all the time whenever you wear it. Not an impulse pick. So Nelson, I think these are 5 pretty good things, and I agree for the most part with all of them. Normally I wouldn't say a watch needs to have sapphire, although obviously I prefer a watch having sapphire, and most of mine do. But if I was going to only have one watch, then yeah, I think sapphire would be the crystal of choice. And really, yes, I think automatic movement is the way to go for a single watch. My quartzes are all right. A few of those, the digitals are okay. The hand winds are nice. But if I was going to one singular watch, I agree. Automatic movement is the way I would go on that one. It gives you that mix of proper old-fashioned mechanical, basically an art of engineering that you get. But the practicality of having the watch wind as you wear it. For me, I also agree if I was going to pick one watch, it would probably be a brand that is kind of historically respected in the watch community. It's not so much for me respect from other people for what I'm wearing, so I don't really care necessarily that they're going to respect it in that way. It's just more of something I appreciate in a watch. The history of where it came from. So I agree with that as well. And I think the most important point here is number 4, which is a watch should be versatile. You may be able to wear it as a dress watch or as a casual watch. Luckily, I think many watches today fit the bill in that regard, because wearing a watch is almost a fashion statement as it in itself now. A lot of people don't wear watches anymore. But I would want something that for me would feel natural, both dressed up or casual. So thinking of my watches, that would kind of rule the Tudor out. The Pelagus doesn't really dress up that well. At least to me, so I would not use the Pelagus. I think the 2 most likely watches that I own that I would choose if if I had to only have one, would either be the Zenith, the Chronomaster, but that's probably a little bit too dressy and delicate. If I had to pick one watch, actually, I think the only watch I would choose out of my own collection, or the one that would fit best out of my collection as a single watch to own, is my Omega Seamaster. I think it dresses up relatively well. I think the details, as a sport watch, stainless steel sport watch, the details, the metal surround and applied hour markers on this model, the details of the bracelet, just the overall attention to detail and classiness of this as a sport watch. I think you can wear this as an dress setting and it would be pretty natural. It's obviously not a dress watch, but it wouldn't look wrong in that type of setting, I think, if I had to have only one watch. So if I could only keep one of my watches, as much as I love the Tudor and as much as I love the Zenith Chronomaster, I think based on if I had to literally make a list of things that are important to me and then rank them, I think this is the watch that would get the most points for the most different categories of what I expect in a watch if I'm only going to have one. So I actually, as much as I love this Omega, I do like the Zenith better, and I like the Tudor a little bit better. But this is probably my most well-rounded watch of all the watches I own. So that would be my choice for that reason. Just a really interesting thing to think about. You know, if you could only have one watch, how would you choose it, and what are the things that are most important to you in choosing that watch? And I'd be interested to hear in some of the other members of the crowd. I'm sure a few of you have an idea of what you would choose or what would be the requirements if you could only have one watch. I think Johnny Casual, you probably find this one interesting as well. Stuart, you might as well also. The idea, for me, I mean, I hadn't even thought about it before, but I thought it was really interesting thinking about if I could only have one of my watches, what would it be? And secondly, really, is I find it really interesting how really our favorite watches may not actually be the best if we were only going to have one. I think for me a great example is my Zenith and my Tudor. If I could only have one watch, the Tudor doesn't dress up well enough, and I don't feel like the Zenith is robust and casual enough. It can pull casual reasonably well if you're doing kind of like the polo shirt thing, but like just jeans and a t-shirt doesn't feel quite right to me, and I feel like it's not quite robust enough to just get beat up on a daily basis. So for me, although those are my two favorite watches I own, the Tudor and the Zenith, I wouldn't choose them as my single watch if I could only have one. It would be the Omega, because I think it's the most balanced of all of my watches. So it's really interesting to think about, interesting to note how even our favorite watches may not be the only one we would own if we could only have one. So to all my viewers and fellow channels, what would be your criteria if you had to stick with only one watch? And based on those criteria, what watch would you choose? Really interested to hear. Leave your answer in the comments below, or if you want to make a video response, would love to hear from you in that way as well. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks, Nelson, for the email. I thought it was a really interesting topic, actually, and gave me something interesting to think about. So, sorry it took so long to get to it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, everyone.